Welcome to day 2. I am I am really sluggish and tired this morning because I only had 2.5 hours of sleep. If that, I mean. I am doing a lot more 24-hour fasts, meaning like just no food as best as I can for 24 hours. My reasons behind that is because it was recently brought to my attention, say recently, but about like 4 months ago, that it's good to fast once in a while. It's good for our body, it's good for the digestive system, it's good because our digestion system shouldn't be working 24 hours constantly. We shouldn't be eating 3 times a day, and when you give your body that little bit of a break, your body has no choice but to eat all of the bad cells, all the bad enzymes, and the zombie cells in your body, and eliminates fat too. It burns fat because your body has no option but to eat the fat that has been stored in your body over time, which is really cool because the more you do it, the more you can feel how much like you slim out. The only thing is, it gives you this razor sharp, like heightened focus. Like if you want to take on a task like making music, going to the gym, or reading a book, like you have such laser focus. And the only thing is when it comes to going to bed, you're just wired and wide awake, so you don't really know what to do because you're trying to convince your body, but like, listen, I know I didn't eat. You're gonna eat in like 4 hours from now. Just go to bed. But your body's just wired with all this energy. It takes some getting used to. And there are different ways. The more you fast, the more you find different styles and techniques to adjust. So I'm a bit sluggish this morning. But all in all, very grateful that I did it. I do this for the longevity of my body because I love my body and I love it enough to starve it for 24 hours just so I can say, like, listen, I know you and you know me. We know that we love to eat all the time. I've woken up many times in the middle of the night to have late night snacks and make like a little mini dinner just so I can eat, just so my stomach can go to work, put in that work, and it just puts me to sleep. I don't know why, it just works. But and yeah, I think it's important that we all have a platform to put our unfiltered thoughts out on, even if nobody's listening, just to get some kind of creative juices flowing. I mean, I come from a family where, everybody, this is probably the dynamic with all the young children growing up, where like, you had to listen to everybody, you weren't allowed to have an opinion, and then as you grew up and started, formulating your own opinions and formulating your own ideas of how the world works, and you try having conversations like that with your aunts, your uncles, or your cousins, and it conflicts with their way of viewing life, so you get shut down immediately. So I've, over the past 2 years, I want to say I've been quiet, but I've just been a lot more reserved, and I haven't been as self-expressed as I should allow myself to be, which is ridiculous. We should always be self-expressed, even when it's difficult, even when you feel it's uncomfortable to say and speak your mind, just because it's the uncomfortability that the other person is going to feel, and you feel like, oh, as soon as I say this, I'm going to get this reaction. But, what's the cost of that? What's the cost of you not expressing yourself fully? You bottle shit up, the energy or the expression that wants to be expressed doesn't get communicated fully. And say, like, if you know you're not flowing 100%, you move through your day with being like 85% you, and every day it just decreases a little less, the more you don't say what's on your mind or say the things you need to say. And it's not to say or anything or judge my family. I love my family, of course. I'm grateful for the family lines that I was born into. And, they are the way they are. I am the way I am. But anybody here who is striving to be successful or to just level up in life, you know that you are the total sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Why? Well, because you're around those habits, you're around those ways of being, those ways of conversation. And me, I'm someone who, it's okay to have a lazy day or a day off. I usually save that for Sundays. But for the most part, I think when anybody who goes through a spiritual awakening or gets really present with the gratitude of their life and how blessed they are to be alive and breathing, and to know that they have all this brain power and this accessibility to become something greater, you want to surround yourself with people who are on that same timeline and that same path. And it's not to say that my family has given up, but sometimes it's like I'm watching them wait till they die and just live day by day, and just like, okay, well, it's another day of watching TV and that's it. I'm gonna watch a movie and go to bed, call it a day, wake up, do it all over again. It's just like, at what point do you realize that you're just kind of in that loop, Like, I was born in 1990, so anyone here who's watching this, if you grew up in Toronto or, Southern Ontario, or no, because we didn't have the same programming as obviously America, but 1990s programming in Southern Ontario, we were exposed to some epic cartoons and TV programs back in the day. The best seasons of The Simpsons, early South Park, Reboot, which is fucking, there would never be a show like Reboot. Even Donkey Kong Country had a TV show. Ned's Newt. What else? Rugrats. Oh, Rugrats. What a time. Yeah, so watching TV back then, and even going to the movies and watching movies back then, was significantly different. The 90s was the last of the greatest, decade. One of the last of the greatest decades, I feel, because it's the decade when before technology was really on the rise, and we were still connected to nature, to going out and having fun and playing in the streets and going over to your friends' houses, and where you can leave your bike on the front porch and not worried about having it getting stolen. Yeah, that once existed. My bad. Like I said, I'm sluggish this morning. And even having the ability to do this, record something on my smartphone, and being able to upload it. Like, I didn't get my first cell phone, and that was a flip phone, till I was in grade 11. And that would have been 17 years of age for me. 17. I didn't get my first smartphone until I was 20. And now kids these days, they have a smartphone as early as the age of 12. Maybe even earlier than that. And they're not prepared for how much of a distraction this freaking thing is, because this is not a phone. It's a mini fucking computer. And even back then in the 90s, when we had computers for the first time, yeah, we were hooked. We were hooked to that screen. We were hooked to coming back home from school and just being on the computer, either playing video games or MSN. It's funny, I remember my brother used to download all these porno videos, and I never knew what it was at the time until I accidentally clicked on one of them. And then through studying and paying attention to the titles, I just knew what to look for. And since I mentioned it, I've recently begun coaching men on why they need to get off of porn and why it's detrimental to their overall quality of life and their emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual pillars in life, because it just disrupts everything. There was once a time where any adults will remember this, where to have access to porn, you had to wait until everyone fell asleep and then you stumbled on the late channels on TV. You either had to rent one from the video store or you can download it on your computer. And nowadays, anyone in the world can have access to more beautiful women than my grandfathers have had access to in their timeline, whenever they want, with a click of a button, with no censorship. And a big part of the reason why I took this on was focusing on and getting present to, well, just how much it's disrupted my life. Because our sexual energy, the very thing that we waste, is the energy of creation. If you think about it, how are we made? It took our mothers and our fathers to engage in an act to give birth to us. Stars aligned at a certain time. We were carried 8 to 9 months in our mother's womb. And whatever our parents went through, or whatever life they've lived during that time, until we were born with all their experiences. And there is so much magic that comes from that. That comes from that very act, from that creation. And that very act of creation is being turned into all of these fucking endless videos of just pointless, destructive, artificial pleasure that we're busting nuts to. And we are a lot more intelligent and powerful than we know ourselves to be. Like, anyone who's watching this, if you've ever stumbled on one of those videos, you know how when you find a certain video, that's funny. When you find a certain video, it's almost like when you see the skin of the woman, of the porn star, it's almost like your eyes can feel and imagine her softness and what it would be like to clap her cheeks or grab her tits or finish on her chest. You could imagine the sensations and the feelings. And then, you know, when it comes to interacting with real women or hunting, using your hunting skills and your communication skills and your confidence to go and attract either a fling, a girlfriend, or the ideal partner of your dreams. You have no motivation, you have no energy, you have no drive, you have no charisma about you because you've wasted it. And it's destroying men. It's a silent killer. It's silently killing men in so many ways. And, you know, getting into coaching this, there's obviously people who've been doing this for a long time, and, you know, who've been doing this a lot longer than I have. And I was hesitant at first to reach out and make a connection with them because, you know, I think the part of me goes off with, oh, they're competition, and I want to stick to my own way of teaching. I want to take on I'll pay attention to what they're teaching, but I don't want to lose track. I don't want to lose track of my lane. I want to stay in my lane. But at the same time, you have to be willing to admit that you don't always know everything. And it's not weakness to ask for help. All of the greatest, most successful people have had doors open for them, and it doesn't make them any less of a man to walk through those doors. That's James Avery from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Uncle Phil. Rest in peace, sir. Thank you. Let's shed some light on the subject here. And it's not being talked about enough. If the same people on the television tell you the weather in the morning, who tell you about this Canadian election, and elections all around the world, who are complaining, oh, Trump is X, Y, and Z, why are we putting so much focus on Trump? when we have our own shit to deal with in Canada. Entirely different topic. But if those same people who told you to take that jab truly gave a shit about you, they would have told you, like, okay, well, here's what you can do to boost up your immunity, because this is a virus. COVID was a virus that attacks strictly your immune system. Why wouldn't they tell us about taking vitamin C or vitamin D? Why wouldn't they tell us healthier ways to take care of our bodies? Hot and cold showers, going into a sauna. Why wouldn't they tell us things about that? Or eating the right foods. Cutting out porn and how detrimental porn is. Because they don't give a shit about us. They get paid to broadcast and read off a teleprompter and keep us small and keep us hidden from our ancient wisdom and power that we have access to. You think back on civilizations ago, let's say 1,000 years ago, did they have the news? Did they have television 1,000 years ago? And I guess this is where my state of mind, my mindset has been for the past couple of years. Just getting present to the fact that, like, lots of these people for years who we've listened to on the radio or on the television, we've been tricked into thinking that they have our best interests at heart when they don't. And at some point, you need to be your own doctor. You need to be your own philosopher, your own teacher, and willing to connect with the other teachers and the other people who are on this life path who think like you, and allow them to give you some encouragement and some wisdom, and just to knowing how the way the world works. There are other ways. We're not meant to live like this. Some people are okay with this system and are okay with keeping their head buried in the sand with this 9-to-5 stuff. And yeah, we need to do it. We need to do it to survive. We need to do it to thrive and sustain and provide for our families and shit. But for the people who just go to work every day and just hate their jobs, it's because you know you're meant for something more. Whatever your dream life is, whatever your passion is like, that's what we're here to do. And before I get the standard, oh yeah, well, what about you? You're on your way to work to a 9-to-5. Yeah, I fucking know. It's not the point. I still work on it every day. In some way, shape, or form, I work on it. And this job that I have is temporary. I will not retire with this job. Because I know I'm meant for more. I know I'm meant to travel, engage in new conversations, make different connections, meet new friends, inspire the world, inspire people to look within and to really have them question, like, am I truly living the life I want to live? And a big part of what I love doing is sharing stories, sharing my experiences, if it will give people some kind of epiphany to look into their lives and be like, yeah, I haven't been doing that. Or, holy shit, I never thought of it like that before. And it can loosen up something in your psyche, in your body, like you release something and you realize that, holy shit, I am worth more than just doing this. I am worth more than taking shit from my family members or being taken advantage of by friends who truly don't have my best interest at heart. I am worth more. That's also a big part of what I love doing. And for me, in a sense, it's kind of effortless because it's just me casually having a conversation, either with myself or with someone else. And for years, friends, people have been telling me you should get into some kind of creative writing class or a writing course, and it's things like that I always shrug off. Even I mentioned I don't know if I mentioned in my last post or not, but I'm a musician. I used to do metal vocals in a band. I sing, I play guitar, I play bass. So there's a part of me that really has a passion for entertaining and putting on a performance. I want to say entertaining, putting on a performance of me doing my own thing so people can recognize that they have their own little thing that lights them up. I share my spotlight energy with people. So that's a big part of where like that passion comes from, to inspire, is from my previous years as a musician. And I have some things in the works. I haven't fully laid it down yet. Where was I going with this? Oh yes, the creative writing. This was like back in 2012, 2011-ish. People were telling me this for a while, that you should get into some kind of creative writing class. And I shrugged it off. Because I didn't really take it seriously back then. Like, it's... You know, life hits us all different. I think we all learn the things we're meant to. We learn the things we're meant to learn when we're ready to hear it. And I wouldn't say I regret my previous years. And I think it's important to not have any regrets, because you wouldn't be where you are if you can go back and second guess or do something over again. You wouldn't learn the lessons to pave your way fully. But I'm grateful for the path that I'm on right now. I'm a lot more wiser. I'm a lot less concerned about being this famous fucking person. Because all that shit is the way we all have whatever we think celebrities and our favorite musicians have, or rich people have, we have it too. But we idolize and we put these people up on a pedestal, and like we are watching them shine, and our favorite musicians for a long time have been telling us, you guys can shine like this too. It's all within you too. It's not just within us. So I'm a lot more wiser. I'm a lot more grateful for the work that my family has put in so that I can have the life that I have now. And I think I needed that. I think I needed a good sense of that before I move on to the next phase of my life, and not just, have fun. That's another thing. I was too concerned with just having fun and going out and partying and spending my money and not really paying attention to my future. And I guess a way I'm trying to give somebody a warning or just some friendly advice, is to put this stuff in a video and to be like, hey, I made these mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. And if you made the same mistakes, it's not too late to pick yourself back up again and go after it, whatever it is. Whether you want to be a touring musician, whether you want to start a family or find the love of your life and conquer the world together, it's not too late. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Anyways, whoever's listening, if anybody's listening, I'm grateful that you're here. You are a lot more stronger than you think. You have a lot more abilities within you than you realize. Regardless of what it looks like to anybody else, your family especially, if they don't share the same vision as you, it's because your vision is unique. And you have to be careful with who you share your visions and your ideas to, because if they don't meet it with the same enthusiasm and aliveness that you have, it disrupts your vision. And that sucks. You have this epic idea, then you go and share it with someone, they don't meet it with the same excitement as you, and it kills your dreams. It's another buzz killer, is sharing yourself with the wrong people. Not everyone deserves to have access to you. Remember that one too. Not everybody deserves to have access to you. Now I'm going to leave it at that. You all have a blessed day. Thanks for listening.